From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a huge day as America waits for the Federal Reserve to announce its FOMC results of interest rate spikes today. And it's likely to be 3/4 of a basis point. But what does it mean for your money? How does it impact your wallet? We'll go over all the latest details on that in a live broadcast breaking news today for June 15th, 2022. It's Mornings LA. The great news is that there's a fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state, and you need to get it because in September, this economy is getting a lot worse, and by next year, we're in recession. All the latest breaking news on other economic data released today. Step 1, become a member. Step 2, get that incredible newsletter. And Step 3, stay to the second half of this live broadcast because we're going to go over those big checks coming across the land in every U.S. state. As we start a new day, we have a lot to go over, and the data at issue is all very weak. We had new housing data released minutes ago. We had the PPI released yesterday, and we had that CPI released last week. Also, we have Wall Street, bonds, stocks, crypto. Everything's doing really poorly across the board. That's why you got to get the stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. It's huge, and you qualify for it. Single individual, $75,000 less, get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, get it. If you rent, if you own, and if you're on benefits, get it as well. Plus, I'll have a snippet of that breaking news story broke this channel 2 days ago. Your benefits are going up. If you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans, or retirement benefits like SSA, your benefits are going up and a lot. I'll go over the analysis of that and a preview of why that's now featured in the newsletter as well. Oh, it's really great details, and it's a lot of money. We have all that over this broadcast. Plus, we'll be taking a preview of what's going to happen today with the Federal Reserve and what it means for your wallet. We'll be talking about inflation. We'll be talking about recession. We'll be talking about the big money coming to you if you pounce right now and the impact if you don't. Step 1, become a member. Go right on this video right now. Hit that link to join the channel. Subscribe and stay with me over this broadcast because we're going to go over all those incredible checks. It's a big, bold, beautiful day for June 15th, 2022. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee's brewing, and the stimulus is in every U.S. state. We got the money, and we're going to get it in today's recording. Plus, we'll have a preview of Jay Powell. All those details and more start right now. And good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is June 14th, 2022, here from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's a big, bold, beautiful day. The heat has calmed down, and the inflation is not. We'll go over the latest details on that front today. Plus, we'll have a preview of what's happening with Jay in just about an hour or two. All the breaking details on him tonight on Evenings LA in prime time. Boy, folks, there's a lot going on, and the situation is not good. The situation is not good. The economy today, where you see it today, is not good, and it's going to be a lot worse by September. By next year, we're in a recession. And in this recording, we're going to go over the breaking news, the financial news at issue, why it's important to get that stimulus check right now, and where we're going thereafter. Are you ready? I am. It's a big, bold, beautiful day. It's June 15, 2022. We start today with the home builders sentiment numbers that were released today that showed one of the worst parts of the economy. The housing industry is getting worse by the minute. Builders now report for the 6th straight month down sentiment of home builders. And this is as interest rates are going higher and mortgage demand is dropping to its lowest levels in 22 years. This first report on the channel about 2 weeks ago. The data came out minutes ago from the National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo's housing market. 6 consecutive monthly declines show there's a big trouble and a slowing growth, says NHB's chairman Jerry Conter in a news statement obtained by LALATE News. This is obvious, but this is what's very important for you to understand. This economy in June, some people think is the same economy as February. It's not. And I don't care if it's a worker in a W-2 environment or if it's a big business. A lot of people think this is still the February economy. It's not, and it's changing very dramatically. And among the people who think it's the February economy is the home builders. They're really out to left field. Now, here's what I need you to know. If you just found this channel, what are you watching? You're watching LA News that does three things as America's #3 most watched financial news channel in America. I give you the analysis of where the economy is right now with the breaking news. Then I give you the projections of where it's going, and I've been spot on for over a year. 100% batting average on all the data points and the predictions. And then I get your money in the second half of this video. I changed the narrative on this channel about a week ago, saying that you cannot wait for Congress to do the Build Back Better Act because it would likely not put that money in your hands fast enough before the downward spiral of this economy between now and September. You can't wait. And thank goodness you asked not to wait back in the month of March. Back in the month of March, viewers said, "Hey, can you find me checks? Can you find me 4 stimulus checks?" And I did. These 4 stimulus checks are not from Congress because there's other ways to get stimulus checks. They're from Act of the President, Presidential Executive Order. And they're coming up in the second half of this video. They've been live since March. Viewers have got to them. $80,000 checks. Imagine how much financial independence $80,000 as a stimulus check would give you, your family, your household. It's coming up later in this recording. Have you subscribed? Go right in this video right now, hit that subscribe button. And number 2, go into the video where it says join, and join, because later in this video, we're going to go over those incredible checks that are in the member newsletter. Now, what else happened today and what is happening later today? We still are bearing with the breaking news from yesterday, that PPI and the CPI from Friday. They're sister and brothers. The Consumer Price Index number released last Friday gauges how much consumers were doing things in the month of May. The number released yesterday is how much wholesalers were doing in the month of May, PPI versus CPI. Both of the numbers are horrible. The Friday number spooked the socks off of American consumers, financial analysts, and Wall Street. Why? Because they're expecting the number to come in much the same of where it was the month before, or much lower. It's an inflation number. And what happened? That inflation number went through the roof. It was absolutely through the roof. I got to tell you, I don't think in so many, maybe not since the start of the channel, has one announcement caused a domino effect of so many things as that one announcement from that CPI last Friday. I want to tell you everything that came from that one announcement. Number 1, the Federal Reserve, which was likely going to do half basis point increase today and then maybe even a quarter thereafter. Some analysts had it. I had it at half, is now switching to 3/4 today. And many analysts, including myself, believe they're going to do 3/4, half in this interest rate spikes. Number 2, by the end of last Friday, hours after that CPI number was released, the vast majority of the Americans' consumers were given their lowest consumer confidence number since the start of the pandemic. Imagine one number that was so well understood by the American consumer. They may not have known what CPI stands for. They may not have known really what CPI is, but they understood it was inflation. And they understood inflation in the month of May was higher than the month of April. They said, this is horrible. Now, the consumer, when polled, said they believe we are now in recession. This is why it's actually worse that they think that, because we're not in recession. This is phase 1 of 3 phases I report on this channel. Phase 1 right now is the downward spiral of this economy. From February into September, it's going to be very, very bad. It's going to be like whiplash. It's going to change overnight. It already is. But you're going to see just a dramatic shift very quickly, and people who don't adapt are not going to be in good shape. Then in September, it's going to mirror day 1 of the pandemic. September this year will look like March 2020 when you went on lockdown. The only difference, and God bless you, God bless this channel. God bless the Purple Power community. Let's all give a group hug to each other. God bless one another, because we are watching live on air at 9:30 a.m. June 15th, 2022. And we can do something different now, individually or as a group or as a family or as a household, than we did in March 2020. Why? In March 2020, we had no fair warning that we were going on lockdown. We literally were told, blink after an eye, that we're going on a lockdown. Just minutes ago, before I came on camera, I was doing something off camera that I was doing March 20th. And this channel hadn't even launched. And I just thought to myself, wait a second, I was doing that on March 20th, 2020. And I forgot that the channel launched 5 days later because we went on lockdown. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to chew on my fingernails. There's nothing to do now. I'm on lockdown. Imagine how abrupt that lockdown was in March of 2020. You were losing your job, you were potentially losing your home, you were losing your business, and a lot of things were imploding very quickly. The difference now is that you and I know as a community, as I report, as I explain, as I teach you on this channel, that you got months to prepare for that lockdown 2.0. Now, in June 15th, before it hits in September, how do you prepare? You get the stimulus checks land this recording. You get the stimulus checks land this recording. And then in January next year, we're in recession. That is going to be the worst economic time you've seen of a generation. January 2023, people don't realize how bad it's going to be. It's going to be really bad. But let me continue with the other breaking news across the board today. Later today, of course, Jay Powell will have that FOMC announcement, and that is the Federal Reserve. And they will announce a 3/4 basis point increase for the June meeting. There's a July meeting. They're off in August. They're back in September. Let's look at what the analysts are saying on this front. The analysts, which I'm agreeing with, their comments don't age well. Why am I laughing? Because their comments are right now. They were very wrong, 10 seconds ago. They were saying quarter and quarter and quarter. Okay, Morgan Stanley and I believe it's one of the other major banks in the last 24 hours have changed. And they're saying they're going to do 3/4, half, and quarter. Folks, that is astronomically out of control. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen from that. The housing industry is going to bust. It's going to explode. It's going to go in the tank because no one can afford a mortgage rate right now at 5%. They're certainly not going to afford it at 6 or 7%. Imagine 3/4, half. Just add that up. That is an enormous spike. If you have anything at home that is flexible based interest rate, get rid of it. Like credit card debt, get rid of it. Car loans, get rid of it. Flexible mortgage, switch to fixed because it's going to get killed. The auto industry is going in the tank. It's going in the tank. No one can afford a car loan because a car loan is too expensive. And that is among the other problems at issue. What else is happening? Layoffs. And this is why you're so smart. This is why you're so on top of the ball. This is why you're such a wonderful community. And this is why you learn so well. Back in it's almost 3 weeks ago, Walmart reported its corporate earnings for the Q1 of this year, the first quarter of this year. And they said we have too many employees in the stores. That's the language of basically saying get laid off. We're going to lay you off. And I immediately asked you, do you see less employees in the stores? If you're on the live chat right now, yes or no? Yes, less employees in the store. No, you see the same amount. Compare it, let's say, to 2 months ago. Viewers overwhelmingly say yes. In some cases, they say there's really no employees. Well, layoff after layoff has rolled out. And it started the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend when Tesla announced 10% of its workforce in the United States is laid off. Then it also announced hiring freeze. Hiring freeze is language you will hear in a recession. And Tesla was shocking by announcing a hiring freeze when corporate America hasn't even talked about layoffs. Now let's do a side note. Remember, just 2 weeks ago, all those wrong analysts on Wall Street said, everyone has job security, everyone has a job, there's no layoffs. Come on, that's really wrong analysis. Well, yesterday, Coinbase, which, as you know, was featured on this channel when I had an IPO, it's a corporation that helps you trade crypto, but it's publicly traded as a stock on the United States. I think it's on the Nasdaq. Is cutting 8% of its workforce. 8% of its workforce gone. And it says we're also doing a hiring phase, and it's also saying we're going into a recession. Then the airlines are like auto, the airlines are like builders, and the airlines are like some of the crypto investors. They believe that the great times of February are here to stay. They're not. And so finally the airlines are starting to feel the pinch, which is they cannot charge you $500 domestic U.S. round trip. No one's going to be able to pay that indefinitely. You did it for Memorial Day weekend, maybe, because you've been on lockdown for 2 years. You deserved a trip. Your family just really deserved that one family holiday. But then you turned to your family and said, we're not going to pay $500, 4 times a year. We can't afford this. And that's per person, not for the whole family. So the airlines bookings are down nearly 3% in May compared to April. And this is going to slump even further because the analysts are saying what you and I say, that no one can afford this situation, and the airlines are not pivoting. What are the airlines doing? Airlines, home builders, and auto are all doing the same thing. They're raising the prices of the product. And then you're showing up and saying this product's a lot more money. Yeah, because it costs us more money to make it. Well, take less profit. No, we're going to make the same amount of profit. Well, good, I'm not going to buy your product. And that's what's happening. No one's buying the homes because the home builders want to make the same profit. Tough luck, home builders. You're not going to make the same profit. Otherwise, you're going to lose a shirt. And that's why they're losing their shirt. Auto manufacturers. If you go to a used car website today, just for fun, look and see the used car prices. They're just the same as they were in February. They think they could stick it to you like it's last year. They have a rude awakening happening in just a few weeks. And airlines experiencing that as well. The 2-year Treasury yield, which is important because that's your credit card debt, your loans, you need to get rid of them. It's surging out of control. It was 3.2% on Monday. That's the 10-year high. We've never seen a high like that. And here's just a side insert. This doesn't fit anywhere. This doesn't fit anywhere on the broadcast. I got to throw it in right here. The balance of power in the Senate may depend on a love child. Yeah. The balance of power in the Senate, of course, goes back to the Senate seat in Georgia. And Raphael Warnock is up for re-election in the midterm elections just a few weeks away from now. Who's he going against? The contender is Herschel Walker for the Republicans. Well, what happened overnight? Overnight, we learned that Herschel Walker, the Republican nomination for the Georgia Senate seat, who has run on a platform that fathers need to take care of their kids, that fathers need to pay child support, that fathers need to support their children, has a love child, and that he has been absent from that love child's household for many years. This is a love child that was first exposed by the Daily Beast, and this is the child whose name has been withheld is currently now 10 years of age. And the final child support in that case reportedly came in August 2014 when the boy took Herschel Walker's name. And this is hitting like a brick. More about this will likely hit the Daily Beast in days to come. The Federal Reserve is meeting right now. And by evening's LA tonight, we will hear that they're going to do a 3/4 basis point increase. This is sort of a mixed bag. Wall Street now wants it, which is very confusing. Some Wall Street analysts want this 3/4 basis point increase because it says Jay Powell's really trying to get that inflation under control. That's some part of Wall Street. The other part of Wall Street is me, which basically says you're hitting it like a brick, and you know what you're going to do? You're not going to solve inflation because inflation is caused by supply chain disruption, not consumer behavior. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to send us into recession. Let me give you the two situations. One is Jay Powell raises interest rates to reduce inflation, and we're fine, and we go on and have a beautiful next year. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. The second one is he raises interest rates, and it still doesn't solve the situation. Month after month, we go into September, you're looking out the window, you're saying LA is still 7% inflation. It's still 6.5. It's still maybe 8, like it is right now, 8.5. And guess what? You go right into recession, and when you go into recession, you start losing things, and people start going bankrupt and foreclosures. Then that gets rid of inflation. And that, I believe, is what's going to happen. Now, the analysis coming out of Goldman Sachs is they're saying, it was not a Morgan Stanley, it was Goldman Sachs, says they're doing, they believe that Jay Powell's going to do 75, 50, 50, and a quarter. I agree. And there is very big concern, not just domestically, but internationally. Remember, we have a symbiotic relationship with the Western allies, whereas Italy, France, Germany, if they have major economic implosion, imagine what happens to us. We can be in paradise. We can be like Crayollaville. We can be absolutely wonderful. But then suddenly, if Italy turns into like anti-Crayollaville, then suddenly our crayons are no longer muddled. They're murdered. Yeah, murdered blue. So things can change very dramatically. The situation in Germany, France, and Italy right today is horrific. It's getting bad by the day. Italy's 10-year bond rose to 4%, a level they've never seen since 2014. Their inflation is out of control in the last few days. Over in Japan, it's not much better. Hang Seng, Japan's Nikkei 225, South Korea's Kopsi are out of control. And Morgan Stanley, what they said about Jay Powell via his CEO, James Corman, on Friday, is they're looking at 50-50, 2 more spikes. Here's what's breaking news as well today. Bank of England says they have a very bad situation right there. Remember, if England goes under, we go under. I'm saying that, you know, this is not like the Titanic. This is not, Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm talking about if our economy really sinks dramatically, not like we sink like the Titanic. And sorry, England, for that reference point there. So there you go. England is now soaring at a 40-year high of inflation at 9%. Ouch. And that the Bank of England now expects inflation to rise to 10% by the end of the year. Folks, they have no control of their inflation. They're going to 10% inflation. The price of petrol, gasoline to fill up their cars right now is about 170 a visit. And that the pound sterling is down 10% compared to the dollar a year to date, and it's dropping $1 a day. Folks, this is all really bad news. Now, out of all this, there's a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. One great news story after another coming for you in the second half of this video. The other great news story coming for you in the second half of this video is the wonderful SS 300 now confirmed. Your benefits are now confirmed as going up next year an astronomical amount. And it's absolutely wonderful. This is without the COLA to swap to inflation. I'll explain the latest details of it in the second half of this video. It'll be a preview of tonight's evening's LALATE. And then I have a new teaser. It's in the newsletter. It's in the newsletter, so you can read it verbatim. We're going to be going over all that data point in the second half of this video. And of course, those big checks. Have you become a member? You need to right now. In the next 90 days, this economy is going to be a lot worse. And you don't know if these checks will be around in 90 days. You need to get them today. So step one, go under this video right now and subscribe. Step two, become a member. Go right under this video and hit that link where it says join the channel. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and stay with me in the second half. We're going to get those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Then we'll be going over that great SS raise. Everyone from veterans to Social Security, you are going to be very, very excited. It's confirmed. The question mark is how high it's going to go. It's starting and looking like it's going to be great, but it could be astronomically higher. And then we'll have a preview of tonight's concerns about this recession coming for next year. It's a big morning to LA as the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. We got a lot coming up in the second half, but first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll see you back in 60 seconds.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for June 15th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's cooler here in Los Angeles, thank goodness. And you need to be cooler because the heat is on for that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. Yes, a forced stimulus check is in every U.S. state. You qualify for it. And I'm going to go over that incredible check for you in the second half, which starts right now. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. Step 3, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts that has that that big check in there. And with that, let's go over the incredible check starting right now. First, let me explain where we are as of June 15th, 2022. Back in March, viewers of this channel said, LALATE, can you find me a fourth stimulus check and find it for all the viewers of this channel because we really need it. And I said, sure, I will find it. And I did, not just one, but lots of checks. And they're in every U.S. state. And you qualify, as Kat, a longtime viewer, says you do eligibility really well. It's very important for me. I want to make sure my viewers qualify for these checks. And here you go for the eligibility. Single individual, 75,000 or less, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 or less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it, like SSI or SSDI. If you rent, you own, go get it. You have children, you don't have children, go get it. It's great, and it's in every U.S. state. Now, what's important to understand with these checks is you gotta get them right away. You cannot wait around at all. I saw an exchange between one of the volunteers and one of the viewers, members, last night, and that member said they had been a member for 2 months, but they had just started making the effort yesterday. You can't wait 24 hours. I mean, you can't wait 7 days. You can't wait 2 months. You gotta move right away. If you just found this channel, welcome. If you haven't become a member, become right today and get that newsletter tonight and immediately start on this right now. I don't mean 7 days from now. I don't mean you're gonna go do a quilt, a purple quilt, or, a lobster quilt. I don't mean go knit a quilt and then come back and do this later. You do this first. The quilt can wait. The fourth stimulus check is in every USA. Let's go over those incredible checks starting right now. You ready? Here we go. We're going over the first one right now. A $6,500 to $12,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Yes, my focus is to get you monster checks, tens of thousands of dollars. These checks are wonderful. It is, if you're on benefits, go get it. If you make 75,000 less, single individual, go get it. Married couple, 150,000 less, go get it. It is called the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant Check. How do you get this wonderful check? Step one, subscribe to this channel. Go right in this video and subscribe. Be part of the monster, hundreds of thousands of subscribers to this channel. Become a subscriber right today. Step two, become a member. Go right in this video and hit the join button. Be part of the thousands of different members on this channel because you need to get these checks right today and learn about everything else that's going on and get that incredible newsletter. The member newsletter is delivered from me to you Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system. You go right down that membership newsletter to find Check A. Then in the membership newsletter, it'll say Check A. It'll give you more about the eligibility, more about it, and then it'll give you the link. You go right into the nationwide website, you choose your state, then you choose the Homeowners Weatherizing Grant, and you pounce. And you're done. How straightforward is that? Bet you're not going to stop there. No, you're then going to go do Check B right away, the same day. Check B is also in the membership newsletter. It is $15,000 to $80,000 fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. $80,000 is what viewers are getting. They're tracking at about $66,000 to $80,000. Yes, imagine how much money, imagine how well $80,000 would pay your bills. Would that provide you financial independence for 6 months, a year and a half? That's what I do. I try to get you monster checks. I'm not here for puny little $300 checks you spend in 1 week and then you need more money. I'm here for monster checks. That is Check B. How do you get Check B? So simple. Go into that membership newsletter, go right down to Check B, and then it says the link. You go right in the link. Become a member. Go right in this video right now. Join. You deserve Check A and B, but you're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get Check C. Check C is an astronomically wonderful check. It's for renters. It's for homeowners. It's been around a while. It dates back to December 2020 and then became bigger and bolder under third stimulus. It's a $2,000 a month over 12-month check, and it's astronomically wonderful. It's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And these incredible checks date back to December 2020. In the thick of the pandemic then, when there was a lot of butter, and of course it was missing some bacon, as it is now, viewers said, hey, can you find me some checks in December 2020? And I did. It was these checks. And when I found the checks, I said, I need to train you how to get this money. Viewers had never picked up the phone and called and asked for money unless they had watched my EIDL videos earlier than that, because I had trained them on that as well. And then they learned, wait, I understand. I got to pounce and do this. Okay, I will do it. This is what happened. $20,000 to $30,000 checks. Yep. For rent. That's what viewers do when they listen, they learn, they're smart, they follow well, and they pounce. $20,000 to $30,000 for rent from December 2020 all the way up to the present. Then utilities, Mark's brother-in-law getting $15,000. Would you like $15,000 of utilities paid? Well, then do it right today. Become a member and get this going. Snap. Mark's brother-in-law's getting $25,000 a year over 10 years. That's $250,000. Combos. Niecy's all the live chats. She was at $23,000 with this graphic in November of last year. Now she's nearly $50,000. She keeps on getting another $8,000 approximately, about $50,000. Mark, he was at $32,000. He's at $166 now. $166,000. He went $50,000. He went from 32 to 50,000 to 100,000, then to 166. Lorraine is just like Margaret, Johnny, Niecy, and Mark. She keeps on going back and getting sums of money. She was at 105, and now she's at 120. You know, it's so important to understand the motivation and understand the inspiration. If you're in the live chat right now and you've gotten any money from this channel, post in the live chat right now because you inspire people. But there's a lot of things at issue right here which I want to hit a little bit harder than I usually hit. One, I want you to get the money. Two, I want you to keep on going back and getting the money. So let's say you got $15,000 this week. I want you to keep on going back and getting the money. Number three, I want you to move really quickly. Back last year, we had Johnny, who had gotten 3 items in between Monday and Wednesday, $45,000. $45,000 is a lot of money, but he heard me, and he actually wrote, LALATE, I heard you. You said don't stop. And he went from $45,000 to $80,000 by that end of that week. How did he go from $45,000 to $80,000? He made 15 plus phone calls. Then he helped his family members the next week. They each got $50,000 a pot. Then he helped his friends and neighbors, I think it was about 20 neighbors, and he got them $320,000. These are people who put the effort in. Put the quilt down. We don't need any more quilts. It's the summer. You don't need to be knitting a quilt. You need to get this money right now. We don't need a quilt. We can knit quilts in the winter after you get these checks today. Get them right now and get them very quickly. Step one, subscribe. Go right in this video, hit that subscribe button. Join the hundreds of thousands of subscribers on this channel. Number two, go to the front of the channel, there's a little bell, and hit that bell and make sure it's set to all notifications. That way you get all notifications. Then go into the video and join. Join the thousands that are members of this channel so you get that membership newsletter and everything else that's in the membership newsletter, from the breaking news about what's going on with everything in the markets to your money as well. Go in that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go right down there and apply. Pounce, pounce, pounce. Get those checks. Do not wait. Now, newly added, and this is breaking news, newly added to the membership newsletter for members is the breaking news about SS300. SS300 is a reality. What is SS300? It's a slang to say your benefits are going up an average of $300. It is absolutely happening, confirms the Social Security Administration. And the details of it are now featured in the member newsletter. Why did I put in the members newsletter? Because it is very elaborate. It takes a lot of time to sort of digest it, and you love to learn, and it's at the bottom of the newsletter in where fifth stimulus was, because fifth stimulus was the subject matter. What's going to happen? Let me explain what the announcement was and how it may actually go higher. First, let me do the numbers. Your benefits are going to go up 8% at the moment. And that 8% is on top of the existing lift you got last year. You got a lift last year, 5.9%, based upon COLA. Well, they're going to go up another 8% on top of that, and that is just to start. Let me tell you what's going on, and this is where it's going to complicate. It's going to slow it down for you. Your benefits have a benchmark, and I've always taught you it's COLA, but it's a little bit more complicated than just COLA. COLA is a number, but that COLA number is dependent upon another number. And that other number is what's called CPI-W. CPI? Well, didn't we have the CPI number last Friday? Yeah, we did. It's a component of the headline CPI number. It's a subsection called CPI-W. It's a subpart of CPI. And when the Social Security looks at the CPIW in 3 months of July, August, and September of each year, they determine how much to raise your benefits up the next year. So let's slow it down again. Your benefits go up every year based upon a number and what it looks like in the months of July, August, and September. That number is CPIW, which is part of CPI, which is an inflationary number that was announced last Friday. It's really astronomically high. Last Friday was 8.5%. So wait a second. Could it be 8.5%? Well, this is where it's interesting. The head chief actuary of Social Security, this is Social Security Administration's chief actuary, Steve Goss, looking at the data from last Friday, says that he believes the CPIW by July, August, and September this year may come in at, this is a quote, closer to 8%. He's looking at the Friday number CPI, which is the headline number, the major number, 8.5%. And he says, I think that sub number, CPI-W, which determines your COLA, which determines your benefit raise, will likely come in at 8%. It's a mathematical prediction is what he's doing. Do people agree if his prediction's higher or lower? Well, obviously, we have to see what happens in June or July, August, or September. We'll see if he's correct or not. But almost everyone's putting it at 8%. The nonprofit group called the Senior League says they believe, based upon the data from Friday, it's going to come in about 8.6%. I believe, and this is my opinion, that I believe it's going to come closer to 8.9%, closer to 9%, because I don't believe that inflation is coming down with Jay Powell. I don't think what Jay Powell is going to do is going to work. And if I'm correct, then the July, August, and September CPIW will actually be higher than Social Security is predicting. Why am I going with that? Well, let's look at the calendar, Colin. Let's look at the calendar. This is June, and Jay Powell has that interest rate spike in about 2 hours from now or an hour from now. And then he has a July one. He does not have an August one. Remember, there's no August meeting. So he has only 2 rate hikes before this number is calculated. And rate hikes don't instantly affect the market. So basically, the number being released today, if it either affects the market in the next 30 days, which is July, or it doesn't. And at that point, I think we have a better understanding of whether it's going to track at 8, as the Social Security says, 8.6, or whether it's going to be closer to what I'm saying, which is 9. We will be watching this. But the great news for you is that if you're a member, it's all in the membership newsletter, lower at the bottom towards fifth stimulus, under fifth stimulus. I break this down for you because I know CPIW and it may be a lot to digest. Now, could this number be even higher? Yes, it could be higher because we have 2 bodies of legislation, 2 bills that have been introduced. One by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and another one by another guy. It's featured in the newsletter. I always forget his name. I think it's Gorman or Dorman. They all 3 collectively want to switch CPIW to CPIE. What is CPIE? CPI is inflation. So this is what Joe Biden talked about, swapping COLA to inflation, Likely that the bills will get done? I don't think so. I think they have to go by recon. That's what I've always said about this stimulus. So if you want to do that, you do it by recon. But remember, Joe Biden doesn't need to swap COLA for inflation. He can do it by picking up the phone and going across the board. The takeaway is that the Social Security Administration is basically confirming you're going to have an 8% increase in your benefits. There you go. That's your SS300. It's a reality. My goodness. Now, my analysis says, of course, it could be actually even higher. We will know more about this number in July because remember, it's tracked based upon the events of the economy in July, August, and September. Tonight on Eaton's LA, we're going to go over oil. And there was an announcement by the President of the United States overnight about oil. I want to just basically touch on your money and his comments. His comments were what he's done since, I don't know, the last 2 months. Last week, he was on the tarmac here in Santa Monica's airport, and he said, when asked about gasoline, There's a problem. He said there's a problem. What's the solution? He avoided the answer to the question, and he says big business is making too much money. He said ask ExxonMobil how much money they made this last quarter. Unresponsive comment. So what was his announcement last night? His announcement last night is that the oil companies are not pumping enough gasoline in the United States. Okay, let me go to the analysis. He's the president. He has a team of economic advisors from Yale. I will give him, I will apologize that they're from Yale. That might be the heart of the problem. It probably is the heart of the problem. But he's expected to have smart people around him. These people are not smart. What are they telling him? Go after big oil. Go after big oil, and that will solve your problem. It literally does nothing. Let me explain to you why. Number one, if Joe Biden had everything he wanted and increased production among those big oil producers in the United States, we would still not have enough oil replaced. We have to replace all the oil for us and the Western allies that was removed from circulation because of embargoes against Vladimir Putin. The United States can only ramp up about another couple 100,000 gallons of barrels of oil per day. We're missing 3.5 million barrels a day. So for Joe to talk about, let's do something with the companies here in the United States, that's a couple 100,000. You need 3.5 million. And it needs to be for us and the Western allies. Number two, you got to solve oil for all of us. The price of gasoline is not a U.S. price of gasoline. It's an international price of gasoline. You got to get 3.5 million barrels for all of us. Number three, the president has had no progress on the subject matter since October of last year. He has 5 options to get the gasoline replaced with. And he has literally done nothing with the 5 options. And at this point, he has basically said, I'm not doing any of the 5 options. Well, then gasoline will be higher, higher, and higher. Number one, Venezuela is an option. He said, I'm not inviting you to our party last week in Los Angeles. I'm banning Venezuela's president. So no deal there. Iran, this was the likely deal the JCPOA negotiated for months in Brussels, not happening. Then Venezuela, he banned them from a meeting as well. Brazil banned them from a meeting. And then OPEC Plus to Saudi Arabia. He's going to Saudi Arabia, and he was asked at that Santa Monica airport takeoff last week, are you going there to get some oil for us, Joe? No, I'm not. So where are you getting oil from? I mean, this is very basic stuff, folks. A high school kid wonders, a grade schooler will understand this. We need oil. We're missing oil. We got to get oil. Okay, I'm going to have a press conference about the oil executives. No. Even if they did exactly what you wanted to do, they wouldn't be able to produce enough gasoline. And so this is just, it dumbfounds me every time I report on oil because he has 5 options of a solution. He is pursuing none of them. And all he's doing is tirading against a group of executives. They can't solve the problem. And even if they did exactly what they wanted him to do, it would still not be enough gasoline. Finally, the last part of the analysis is some analysts say, why go after the only people who have the option to solve the situation if in your mind, Joe Biden's mind, why go after them with sort of moral crusades every single day? Takeaway is, I believe the gasoline is going to $10 a gallon. I believe the gasoline is going to $10 a gallon. We have 5 solutions. None of the solutions are being pursued by us or the Western allies. I fear for my friends and colleagues and anyone else that are overseas, because whether you're Germany, France, or Italy, you are really going to see a very bad time heading in the next few weeks. It's bad right now, and people are literally going to lose their shirts because they're not going to be able to fill up their cars for gasoline there either. Tonight on E! News LA, we have a lot coming up, but this video will automatically take you to the noontime LALATE show on routing times for trucks. It's currently underway. It just started a minute ago if you're watching the show live on air. I want you to do 3 things for me. 1, subscribe. Go right on this video, hit that subscribe button. 2, become a member. And 3, get that 4 stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. Get it right now. Do not wait. This economy is getting very bad very, very quickly. I need you to get this money right now. Do not quit. Do not knit the quilt. The quilt can wait till later this winter. From the toast buttering and the coffee brewing and the missing bacon, we're all here, and I'll see you next at 11 a.m. if you're watching the show live for noontime. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless and have a beautiful day.